Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hit List Podcast, the show where Pokemon nostalgia meets today's collecting culture. And today we have a very special guest, fan of the show and friend of the show with his own show himself. Make sure you check him out on TikTok. We have the one and only TuckerPokePulls. How are you today, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me come on and talk about this Perfect Order release and the Ascended Heroes and everything else that we've talked about. Really love it. And I can't wait to get into all this information.
Let's have a blast. So, yeah, as we were saying, this is just such a weird release schedule for this, starting out January 20th for the Ascended Heroes to come out and then have a 3-month path of release here. And we talked a little bit with Jack and Kaylin about what's coming up with Ascended Heroes, but I mean, we're here to talk about Perfect Order mainly. So one of my concerns, and I don't know if it is for you too as well, but this release schedule, it really kind of, I don't want to call it interfering, but intertwining, I think is a better phrase, with the Ascended Heroes releases that we're going to see here.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to hurt the community as well, because with card shops they're not going to get the same thing as retail, or might not get as much as retail during these 3-4 months of Ascended Heroes, and then right in the middle of that you're getting Perfect Order. So no telling what your local card shops are going to get, what GameStop's going to get, what Walmart's going to get. It's just all going to be all over the place. And then you've also got all these people that are, oh, I've got these things on Discord that I can go to Walmart and I know what I'm getting.
Right.
So what are the actual collectors, or what are we going to get?
I think you're looking at the wrong camera angle here.
Emma?
Yep.
I think I'm looking at you and not the camera.
No, that's the hard part. That's why I like to move my camera around as best I can to get above my screen. But yeah, we're good from here. But yeah, that's a great point, seeing that the local card shops are going to be even more limited. And that's one of the things that I said was one of my concerns for this Ascended Heroes set, was that there's only 3-pack blisters. Now, if we have that little of product coming out with, let me check my things here, the tech sticker collections and the 3-pack blisters are what come out January 20th, which is insane for release day, because we're used to getting the ETBs right away and the booster bundles, but not this little product. So after that, we have to wait a whole nother month before we're able to get anything else. And that's going to be the ETBs that are pre-ordered and the Pokemon Center ETBs. So who knows how much is going to be available to the public. I'm hoping this means with this staggered release that they'll have a little bit more, but we're going to be really chomping at the bit here to be getting new cards, especially anybody who doesn't collect foreign language.
Right. And see, and we just got into collecting the Japanese side of the cards, and the Chinese, the simple Chinese. One, I love the art. Just, it's way better than English. And it's cheaper. And the pull rates, even though you're only getting 5 cards in a Japanese pack, your pull rate are still better than the 11 cards you get in the English pack. But yeah, we just started, I think, probably September, October, collecting that side. After collecting some Journey Together and some Prismatic Evolutions. But with the Mega Dream, everybody that I've seen open it, I mean, it's what I've seen. I love the art in it. And I really hope Perfect Order has the same art or even better art. But at this moment, we know what we're getting with Ascended Heroes. We know what the SIRs are. We know what the IRs are. But coming down to Perfect Order, we don't know anything. Like, this is the first set since I've been back in collecting that there's not been leaks.
Yeah, with it being, I don't actually know what the Japanese side sets are called. Of course, whenever you have the Japanese come out before, they can either be split into 2 sets or it's just one. And usually those are released sooner. But even so, and we've talked about this before, how the spoiled cards, it seems to be getting less and less until you get much closer to the actual release. I remember in one of our previous episodes, we talked about a leaked Dragonite that looked correct. It looked like that was actually going to be it for the SIR for Ascended Heroes, and it turns out it wasn't. And we didn't know that until about a week
Yeah.
until that came out with Mega Dream. That was
You talking
wild.
about the one that had like the same art style as the 151 Charizard?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was amazing to me that we even got it down to the correct artist being put on this fake card that would have made sense for that. That was pretty cool
Yeah.
that we're starting to see a lot of people not only just dupe cards and make people think they're real, but actually pay attention to the art style and make it even
Mm-hmm.
more convincing for people like us who are studying this and trying to figure something out, that even it fooled some of us, which is honestly, as somebody who appreciates the art and wants to give as much credit as I can to the artists, that that's pretty good. I'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like, and with Perfect Order, the only thing that I've seen is some of the common cards. I did see a new Dugong card. Dugong
Okay.
EX is coming. And then they've also already announced the Zygarde EX and the Meowth EX.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I saw the
then looking
Zygarde
through
EX and the Meowth, just
he's gonna be
regular.
pretty. He's gonna be pretty massive in the battle too if you can get that off.
Are you talking about Meowth or Zygarde?
Zygarde.
Because Meowth actually has the ability to retreat itself back,
Yeah.
which is kind of
Yeah.
nice too. Which at first, when I first saw a Meowth EX card, I'm like, wow, that's weird. Um, yeah, let's give this Meowth an EX for some reason. It
Yeah.
just reminds me of the Sprigatito EX that we had in the Paldea Collector's Chest. That didn't really make any sense to have a basic Pokemon be an
Yeah.
EX that has an evolution. But looking at the playability, maybe it's not the most playable thing in the world, but I can definitely see a place for it. Kind of in the same way that you could see a place in a very specific point for the Squawkabilly EX that we saw from Paldea
Yeah.
Evolved.
Yeah.
Is it the best thing in battle? Absolutely not. But it could have some utility in certain decks. I like that
Right.
they did it, honestly.
And then, and the only thing that I've seen searching the internet and other people online is maybe a Mega Greninja EX. That's literally the only things that I've seen so far. Um,
Yeah,
and I mean, it'd be cool to have a Greninja, I guess, but there's a lot of people saying that Perfect Order is going to be a dead set because there is no Charizard, there is no Blastoise, there's no big hitter card that they've announced so far.
right. Now, I feel like Zygarde is not a big enough hit. And I will
Yeah.
admit, I do really think the artwork on the ETBs is really cool.
Yeah,
But
me too.
I just feel as if that's not enough.
Yeah.
I
Did
see
you see
Mega
the
Storm.
promo?
The promo, I did not see the promo. What's the promo?
It's Tyrant.
That's right. I did see that. And actually, it's
It's
a
a
really cool
yeah.
art.
Yeah, it's a really good illustration rare.
Yeah, and I feel like Tyrant's definitely a card that does not get featured a lot. And
I
I'm
think he only
hoping,
has 2 cards.
right, and I'm really hoping that we can get a Tyrantrum EX out of this as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long shot. I think we're obviously going to get some form of Tyrantrum, but
Yeah.
with
But
an
see,
EX
I
would be
was
cool.
looking for Blastoise because in Mega Evolutions we had Venusaur.
Mm-hmm.
Phantasmal Flames we had Charizard. Ascended Heroes we have another Charizard.
Mm-hmm.
Wah. And then we get Perfect Order and it's like there's no Blastoise. It's
Well, part of me
like
is wondering a little bit because we got Mega Charizard X SIR in Phantasmal Flames.
yeah.
In the special deck product in Japanese, there is a Mega Charizard Y Gold that's out there,
Yes.
meaning that we might very well see a Charizard, Mega Charizard Y
Mm-hmm.
EX come out here as some kind of SIR. It could be in perfect order. To me, it would make a lot of sense, and that might be I I don't think we're gonna get the gold in here because that would overshadow. Uh,
Yeah.
but I can't see one of the leaked set names being one that makes any sense either. It's just interesting when you
Yeah.
have a Pokemon as big as Charizard to, you have to kind of give it its own thing. So I don't know where we're going to see this Charizard Y.
I mean, they could be doing what they did with Gengar. So we got the Mega Gengar EX and Phantasmal Flames, but we're
Mhm.
not getting his illustration rare or his SIR until we get Ascended Heroes.
I mean, I could see that happening as well. But yeah, I definitely would not put off that we're not going to see a Blastoise here soon. And it's still possible we could see it in this set. When we
I just don't
got
know why they're forgetting about Big Man Blastoise.
I know. You gotta love the big man. Hopefully we see him here soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I could see it being in perfect order. We're so early on to this that it's very possible. When you look at the all the featured product of the Mega Evolution set, there
Mm-hmm.
really wasn't a lot originally to point you to say, okay, there's a Mega Venusaur. There was nothing plastered on the sides. There was nothing big
Yeah.
until we started to see the box topper promo being the Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Um, and they did, in my opinion, miss an opportunity here. I was really hoping that we were going to get a 3 connected line like we got in 151 for the
Oh,
Bulbasaur,
yeah.
Charizard, and then Blastoise, but we did not see that here, and I'm a little
Yeah.
disappointed that that was not the path they took.
And there I've seen some people upset about the SIR Charizard in English not being their favorite because of the words that cover up Charmander's face.
Right, that was a big miss on their end that they weren't able to pick that up and
Uh-huh.
fix that before putting it out. I don't know exactly what they would have done, but yeah, I'm that I think is part of why the Japanese is holding so much value, which is great. I'm not complaining about it at all,
No.
but that's not a typical thing. I think that's definitely holding it a lot higher.
We just got back into Pokemon
Hmm.
May of 2025. I did collect it as a kid, but I got away from it. But my son wanted to open it, and it has been a dark hole since May of 2025.
Isn't it funny how it does that? No, I love that you got into it for essentially you got back into it for your
Yeah,
kid. Um, that is what you know that's what makes this hobby so great is the connection. I've seen a lot of parents have with their kids doing this. For me, I have nieces and nephews, and I have other family members that we talk about it and we share what we love. And that I think is one of the coolest parts about this is that, and that's why we've been able to keep this going for almost 30 years. It's going to be 30
yep,
years this year, which is crazy to think about. And here's to another 30 more, but the more that we have this engagement with our nieces, nephews, sons, daughters, everybody. I've seen people with grandchildren that are collecting because they love
yeah.
it.
And seeing like when I was a kid, it was all about getting the cards, making your deck, playing with your friends. There was none of this that I remember, master setting this or sending this off to Beckett or PSA. There was none
Mhm.
of that when I was a kid. So now that I'm older and I'm seeing, the Pokey Post, I'm seeing my local card shops and other people online doing different things. Uh, that's where my son was like, I want to do a master set. I'm like, okay, I'm not really sure what that is, but let me do some research. And so, talking to a few friends that I know that played and collect, they were like, Journey Together is a good place to start
Mhm.
because it's cheaper, the pool rates are decent, and it's a set that I think your son would like. So that's what we did. We started with Journey Together. I started with Destined Rivals. My daughter's on Prismatic Evolutions. Please help us.
Yeah, I was gonna say your
Uh,
poor daughter,
oh, yeah.
your
So
poor
then
wallet.
yeah, and then we got to go to our first pre-release for Phantasmal because I didn't know about pre-releases either. So everybody's
Mhm.
like, "Are you going to the Mega Evolution?" I'm like, "No, I'm just gonna go pick it up if I find it." I'm like, "What? I don't know what that is." So after learning, we went to the pre-release of Phantasmal. Me and my son got to open up 14 packs of Phantasmal Flames, and I pulled my Piplup out of my last pack. Um, and then so now they both want to go to the pre-release of Perfect Order. So we're finding like 2 or 3 different local shops that are doing pre-releases, and we're trying to go to all of them.
That's
So
awesome.
it's just like we're just like so. And then the youngest, well, not the youngest, but the second youngest, she just turned 6, and she's like, I want to go battle with you, and I'm like, I was like, let me teach you at home a little bit more. I was like, because she's like super excited about things and she gets
Mhm.
super loud. And I'm like, let me teach you at home first, and then maybe, later this year we'll take you. Because I do it. I drive and trying to take 3 kids to a card shop and battle at the same time. That's
That's
a
a lot.
lot.
That is a lot. But yeah, have you found that the kids are it seems like they're really enjoying the game aspect
Oh
of
yeah.
this,
Oh yeah.
almost as much as collecting, or do you feel as if the kids are actually enjoying the game more than the collecting aspect of it?
I think my son is. He really enjoys battles. Like he wants to record battles at home. He wants to use the TCG Live app all the time.
Mhm.
He does Pokemon Pocket. I mean, he's got so much stuff on Pokemon Pocket. It's not funny.
That's awesome,
He's
though.
been playing that nonstop. But now my 10-year-old, my oldest, she likes to collect anytime she sees an Eevee card, a
Mhm.
Leafeon, any of the evolutions, she wants it.
Well, that's not I wouldn't call that non-typical at all. Um,
Yeah.
it's it's almost like that set was made, for the EV collectors, and
Yeah.
that's it. As much as and we've talked about how the other SIRs are starting to fall in that set, but honestly, as hard as it is to pull stuff in that set, the artwork is still some of my
Yes.
favorite that you ever had. I just despise the set for the pull rates. But honestly, for playability, for building decks, and for, the chases that are in there, they're excellent, uh,
Yeah.
on both ends.
Twilight Masquerade had some good playables.
Mhm,
Phantasmal Flame has great playables.
mhm.
Mega Evolution had pretty good. They had some good playables, especially to get the Mega Signal to get your Mega Pokemon out. Uh, Destin Rivals, I mean, if you played the Team Rocket deck, it had good playables, but other than that, I don't think Destin Rivals really had any like great playables in that set.
Yeah,
Uh,
playable wise, it seemed like unless you like you said, unless you were playing the Team Rocket or
yeah,
like a Ethan's deck or anything like that,
Stevens,
things that can't really be
yeah,
adjusted going
and
forward were
my personal set is Destin Rivals because of the art style, like you said. I think Destin out of the 3 sets that we picked out, I think
Mhm.
Destin has the better art style.
Yeah,
Um,
and as one of the things I talked about on the last episode was, the one of my underrated cards of the year was this Ethan's Ho-Oh, from Destined
yeah,
Rivals.
yeah,
I
I like
I
that
think
one.
that there's a lot of underrated cards in that, but I
Hmm.
still to me, it's just the set itself overall is a little underwhelming, and especially from
Yep.
the playability standpoint, as you said.
Yeah. I mean, in Journey Together, like I liked pulling it. It was
Yeah.
I didn't hate Journey Together, especially when we pulled the Articuno or the
Mhm.
Reshiram. I was like, these has got to be SIRs, and they're just IRs,
Right.
and they're like and they're cheap,
Yeah, it's
but they're the
amazing to me that
two
the
most beautiful cards out of that set.
it's amazing to me that both of those have held as low as they have. I think
Yeah.
it's funny that, when you look at the art style and look at the quality of artwork that's in that, take away some of the playable part of it and take away the chases, you still have a great set. And I think that's
Hmm.
really odd to me that everybody just agreed because there wasn't a high value in it that that set was trash.
Yeah.
Um, if you look back at it, I think the Okagi Volcanion is incredible as an SIR.
Oh yeah, my son loves that card, and and we're missing it. We're missing all 6 SIRs. We haven't pulled an SIR at all.
What's great?
But we've got all the IRs.
Mhm. What's crazy is that Volcanion's price is also incredibly low. Uh,
Uh-huh.
when you're looking at the SIRs from that set, apart from uh, the Lily's Clefairy and I guess the Salamence, kinda, they're not that bad.
No, Stylomance was pretty high there for a little bit.
Yeah, and Zoroark was too.
Yeah, I see, and
Um,
I like that art style is very nice too. I like
yeah,
that art style.
yeah, that's a bit of a different one, and for me, I think part of what kinda lowered the English and Zoroark is the whole debacle that happened on the Japanese side in Battle Partners with that card. I don't know if you were in for that
I
part.
didn't hear about that. No.
So what happened was they rushed to print that because it was the first set after Prismatic Evolutions. And when they printed the gold and Zoroark, they printed an overlay on it by accident of the Zoroark SIR. So there's like a shadow look of
Oh
the
wow.
card printed
No, I
on
didn't
it.
know that.
Yeah, it's and that I think is also led people to want to check out the battle partners a little bit more. But I mean, there's a lot of factors that went into battle partners and Journey Together not being big. I think it was kind of a less intense card set where the cards weren't, the artwork wasn't as actiony, it wasn't as, you know, middle of the fight.
Yeah.
But that I've been saying for a while to go back and look at that. And what's interesting, and one of the reasons I want to bring that up so much, is Perfect Order falls in that same release time where Journey Together came out March of last year, which will be the same release point as Perfect Order is. Typically, that set, the set that comes after the special set or the holiday set, whatever you want to call it, is a downer of a set. I don't know why people act like that about it, but I would expect that, especially with the scarcity of product coming out
Yeah.
for Ascended Heroes, we're going to see a lower interest in this Perfect Order set, which could be a great opportunity if we get some of these really cool arts that I'm really hoping for. This could be a great opportunity to also assist in this market cooldown.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue that we're running into, especially with us just getting back in, I think a lot of people has gotten away from the collecting side. They're like, oh,
Mhm.
well, I'm going to collect just to collect. Well, now it's, I'm going to go buy to make a profit.
Right. And
And
that's
I
a
think that's
great way
what
to
people
phrase
are
it.
using, they're using Pokemon as a gambling habit.
Yes, and I think that's a great way to put it. The people are not buying to collect and to even complete a set. They're buying to have an investment. And
Hmm.
that's something I caution against all the time. Obviously, this isn't an investment kind of thing.
No.
This is something we do because we love it. But
Yep.
it's hard to disagree with why they did it. Of course, there was volatility in the market and people came and took advantage of it. But especially going forward here, I think these kind of sets coming out are a good cool down, especially before we get nailed with 30th anniversary later this year.
Yeah.
But
And they've already announced some of that too.
yeah, I haven't looked into that too much, but
Yeah, they've
there's
already, you've got every starter is getting an illustration rare this year.
Mhm.
Every starter.
Okay.
And then on Target keeps dropping pre-orders for Series 1. It's a Pikachu promo with a Pikachu coin and 3 packs.
Okay.
And then there's the Series 1 starter illustration box that I think this is going to have Kanto, Alolan, and Sinnoh.
Okay.
I think wherever Piplup is, Piplop's Sinnoh, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, it's gonna have though, and you have a chance in that illustration pack to pull one of those non-Pokemon as an illustration rare, and then you get a pack, and then you get 2 packs in that box as well. And the Pikachu pack's only $12.99, and you get 3
Interesting.
packs, or six. It might be $16.99, but you get 3 packs plus the promo.
Yeah, that sounds about right. $5 MSRP per pack,
Yeah,
and then the promo. That I'd say 16.99 makes sense. But yeah, that's an awesome way to kind of hails back to a lot of the promo products that we had back when we were growing up. These kind of like mystery things. For me, I think of the Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno that came in just a promo pack that you could get one of the 3 of them. You can think of,
I'm
I mean,
trying
we
to
can,
remember.
yeah, they're an interesting art. There was actually a weird thing on there where most of the cards actually had the wrong artist printed on them.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
so the corrected version is actually the more valuable because they don't there's not anywhere near as many.
Yeah.
But what
I
it
miss like the movie promos, like the
yeah,
Ancient Mew. Like, how long is it going to be until we get another one of those?
Yeah, I think especially with streaming and Netflix taking over a lot of the Pokemon domain,
Yeah.
that putting out movie releases and other things like that is just not something we see as much anymore. A lot of shifting to online. But that doesn't mean we're not going to have cool products like what you just described, these
Hmm.
starter sets that have a cool illustration rare attached to them. That's also, I love the fact that it's a mystery. Kind of goes back to the one thing I really loved from the prismatic set was those surprise boxes. I think they could have done them a little better, but I
Yeah.
like the idea of it.
I like because if you buy, I know what Best Buy did a promo for Phantasmal, where if you spent, I think like $15, you got a stamped uh promo from Phantasmal. I think GameStop did the same thing.
Hmm.
But like Walmart and Target, I know they don't do it.
No, the GameStop, it used to be EB Games, Best Buy. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's always been a few that have done that, and some of them stamp it with the store name, and some of them stamp it with
a
the
set
set
name.
name,
Yeah,
which I thought's pretty cool. And all of those places have been doing it for a while. That's another example of, we'll call it a low cost collecting option, because they aren't super low cost, but you can get them and acquire them essentially for
yeah.
free when buying other product if you just pay attention to when the drops are.
And
Um,
then I could be wrong, but I remember them putting a promo in like the games, like the DS games.
so I think you're right. I'd have to look into that, but I know that for Japan, they had CD promos and web series promos where you
Yeah,
had to do certain things and mail it in. I would love to see that come back,
yeah,
just special things like that. But I do know that there was definitely if I remember correctly, there was a promo that was in some comic magazine or something like that. There
yeah,
was, I think the games had options. Um, One of the things that I remember, one of the crazy things, and it's not, I mean, it's a collector's item, but it's not directly a card, is, do you remember when Burger King put out those gold
yes,
cards? Oh my
yes,
goodness, that was wild.
yes. And seeing McDonald's is bringing back also their Happy Meals for the 30th anniversary, and it's either February or March is when they're doing that.
Yeah, they typically do that every year around the same part, and I did see that they are coming out in March with it. I think
Yeah,
technically that'll be the first 30th anniversary product, because they've always done the Pokemon release for McDonald's in March.
yeah.
Um, so that's funny to me that like they're getting the
It's
initial
gonna be so
release.
stupid. It's gonna be so stupid.
Oh, yeah. All of this is, people like, the last time they did it was a little bit stupid. I know I went and got some, because why wouldn't I? Look at me. I like
Yeah.
McDonald's.
I mean, I've got 4 kids. Of course I wanna get McDonald's, like, you know? But it's just like we had an issue back in December, we ordered McDonald's and it took them forever to deliver it to us because he said there's like hundreds of people in here trying to get the Grinch socks.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is only going to be worse, especially since it is the 30th anniversary and
Mhm.
people are waiting for it, and they've already come out and said it. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. That's
It's
funny that
I
the
think this is going to be it I think we're going to have a bad year, not for set wise, but for product wise. I think we're going to be in a worse spot than we were in 2025. I don't care what retailers say, well, these pieces, you can only buy 5 of this product. Okay, well, that just means that this person's going to have 10 people behind them with cash buying the product for that person. We're still not going to find anything.
So you think that this 2026 is going to be almost a revitalization of the scalpers, and just give them something
Oh, yeah.
else to
Oh, yeah.
just make money on? And
Oh, yeah.
I hope you're wrong, but I mean, it's certainly possible. I know that we do have some very possible special sets coming up, one specifically right before the 30th anniversary. And if that is true, that's going to be a problem as well.
Yep.
But I'm not going to dive into that until I know it's true,
Yeah.
because I have no proof. But I mean, you got to realize we have perfect order. We have another set, and we have a summer set before we even think about
Mm-hmm.
30th anniversary. So if these
Yeah.
are really good sets, which I still am going to stand by, I think this perfect order is going to be our little downtime. I think this isn't going to be a very popular set off the bat, and I think that's okay. But I think that's also okay to explain to people, just because this set doesn't have an insanely high value attached to each individual card does not make it worth, or does not make it not worth collecting.
Yeah.
I think it's important to get back to your roots as well and just say that's a cool card. And I
Yeah.
think this is that set.
There's a bunch of cards that, I'm a Piplop fan. I'm a big water starter fan. I
Mm-hmm.
love my water starters. But when you look at like Sword and Shield era, I do not like that water starter. I don't like any starter from Sword and Shield, to be honest with you. I didn't like any of them. Violet, I did not like the water starter in Scarlet and Violet. I picked my boy Fuecoco,
Oh,
and that was the
Fuecoco's a
first.
beast.
That's the first fire starter I ever have chosen.
Mm-hmm.
So it like for me, it's as long as that art is cool,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be happy. Like if that Mega Zygarde SIR, if there is one, and it's like amazing, I won't be happy because I'm a collector. I don't care how much. I really don't care how much the card is. But now my son, he cares because he's like, oh, I'm gonna go take this and I'm gonna go get this product because I want to open up more packs.
And I understand that part of it, especially as a kid, where that's a bit different, where, you got something of value and you have the chance to make more off of it to get more. But
Yeah,
that's where I don't really mind the price of the cards being high, because people doing that. I mind the price of the sealed product being
the
high.
sealed. Yeah, I mean,
And what,
look at the Charizard UPC.
yeah, yeah, look at
Uh,
it, just dropped.
GameStop is. I mean, I know my GameStop's holding about 20 of them. I know they are. And I got one at my local card shop for 130.
130 is not bad. I'm seeing the market price on it's 129.99 right now,
Yeah.
so that's great. I mean, it's a lot better than the 200 they had whenever it came out.
Mm-hmm. But if you look at people on game or on TikTok shop, they've got them for $250, $300. I'm like, you're never gonna sell those.
No.
Never gonna sell them.
And I think that's a bit of the panic that's coming through from the scalpers, is that they have all this product and can't get rid of it. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's honestly a bit of a concern for any brick and mortar store as well that bought product secondary market to try and
Yeah.
keep up with the demand. I mean, I'm hoping not, but we may see a couple smaller brick and mortar stores have a little bit of trouble here getting rid of product that they've had for a while, and that disappoints me as well. But it's not necessarily their fault. You have to have product in the store, so you have to get it
Yep.
from somewhere. But these people that are coming out and waiting out Target and waiting out MSRP and filling
Yeah.
carts and selling it online immediately, that's where this is coming from.
Yeah. And see the way that I look at it, I did retail for 7 years. So I know I I know the numbers. I know that Walmart buys TVs at a cheaper price
Mm-hmm.
because they upcharge the DVD players, the remotes, the DVDs, all that extra stuff that would go with that TV. So, like, when I'm looking at a card shop, which there's two card shops that we go to that have a distributor. So their prices are pretty good.
Very good.
They're not bad. But the one that is the closest to us, he does not have a distributor. So he gets everything either from eBay, TCG, going to Walmart, Target, stuff like that. But he still, but he upcharges. And I mean, he upcharges a lot.
Right.
And for me, I'm like, okay, you're buying that ETB, say, for $60 at Walmart or at GameStop, wherever. You charging an extra $20, I might be okay with that.
Right.
But when you're charging double or triple the amount of a new set that just came out for an ETB, I'm not paying that.
Absolutely. And that's the other thing about this set that's coming out, is I hope that we start to see that fade away as well, to where we can see these ETBs at least close to retail. And what's
Yeah.
funny, you brought up a set that actually has a very high performing card earlier, and that's Twilight Masquerade. Twilight Masquerade ETBs are not expensive,
Mhm.
but that's a great set.
It is a great set. I didn't think I was gonna like it until I seen the Greninja.
Yeah.
I
O
love that Greninja
yeah,
card.
Okagi killed it on that. That was a beautiful card. But what's so fascinating to me is that expensive of a card is in there, and there's a few other really big ones, especially with the Eevee being in there,
Mhm.
just as an IR. That set has beautiful art, playable cards, and everything. It has
Yep.
everything that should make it that way to be a very valuable, sought after set. Yet here we are sitting years after its release, and it's just not
I think they're going for like $65-$70 right now.
right when MSRP is 60. That
Yeah.
that is odd to me. Anybody who has a chance to get one, if you see these Twilight Masquerade ETBs out there
Yeah.
for, I'd say anywhere between 60 and $75, you're not missing out.
No, and the promo's not bad either. I'm not. I wasn't a Teal Mask Ogre fan there for a while until I started playing the deck on TCG Live. But looking at that art, even the promo art's not bad at all.
No, that's a very good artwork. But what's interesting about that one, I don't know if you've noticed, but take a look and compare that to other IRs because it is an IR.
Yeah.
But the Teal Mask Ogrepon IR from the Twilight ETB has a SIR finish on the foil
Yeah.
itself,
Yeah, I've noticed that.
which is very interesting. It's the only card I've seen that did that. It does make it sparkle a little bit. It does make it unique, which just also adds to why. I mean, I get that Teal Mask is not a popular card, but this card has a unique feature to it, which means to me it should be in every collector's collection with how
Yeah.
available it is.
Well, so this is what I guess I'm still confused on with ETP. So you have your Twilight, which comes with the Teal Mask,
Yes.
and the Teal Mask was the poster child of that set.
Yes.
So with that promo makes sense. And then
Mhm.
you go to Surging Sparks and you get a Magneton promo.
Yep.
And then you go to what is it? Is it Phantasmal that it's the Sharkadeck?
Yes.
But then when you look at Destin Rivals, you get a Team Rockets Wobbuffet. That makes sense for that.
Right. And honestly, they did a pretty good job sometimes. It's odd. You're right. So if we're going back a few, when you look at the Mega Evolutions ones, that kind of made sense.
The Alakazam didn't.
I like the Alakazam. It was a cool card.
I personally didn't. I didn't like that art style.
But the Riolu did.
I love the Riolu. I got 3 of those in my Mega Lucario deck.
It's it's such a cool card, and of course you do.
And that looks like, but that doesn't look like an IR either. It looks like an SIR.
Right.
To me, it does, anyways.
But you go back to further back to Destin Rivals, that made sense. Journey Together, that made sense.
Yep.
Prismatic Evolution, that made sense.
Made sense.
And then you had the 2 fall ones, which did not make any sense at all. You had Surging Sparks that had the Magneton, and you had Stellar Crown, which had a knocked out.
Is that? Yeah.
But
that
it's not a consistent thing. So when you look back at ETB promos, they're not always themed to whatever the set theme is. Sometimes it's just a card that they didn't know where to put it. Because you got to remember, the set comes out in Japanese first. So they have a set amount of IRs, and they're like, okay, well, what would we make this one be? They wanted to draw people in as well, more so than fit with the set theme. So when you look at Stellar Crown, the Knocked Out was a very playable card with its Jewel Seeker ability. The other part is in Surging Sparks, you have the Magneton, which was a Shinji Kanda, which everybody loves Shinji Kanda.
Everybody loves him.
But also it was kind of not directly, but almost a homage to the original Magneton card.
Okay.
Where if you were to expand it, you could say, okay, yeah, that makes sense that's that card. But now we're getting, with this Perfect Order, we're getting Tyrant.
Yeah, Tyrant doesn't really make sense either for Perfect Order.
But don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. Tyrant is a cool little guy, and that
The promo for Ascended Heroes, the in Zekrom,
Oh
that
my
looks sick.
goodness.
Oh, it looks
With
so
the
good.
same artist that did the Reshiram, they go together top to
Yeah,
bottom, where they create like an inverse effect. I have them both in Japanese. They're beautiful.
it's
They
so
are
bad. It's
beautiful
so
cards.
sick. But see, and then like when I'm looking back at like Shrouded Fable, that's a Greninja,
Hmm.
right?
Uh,
That doesn't.
Shrouded Fable was a Petrarch.
Was it okay?
The
See, I
Greninja
don't know.
promo was in. There was a Greninja, and that should have been the ETB promo. Oh my goodness, that would have been a cool ETB promo. But the Greninja and Kingdra were in a separate box. It was just an
Okay,
ancillary product. But those nobody wanted them for the longest time, and I remember looking at them and be like, "These are really cool."
I really like both of those cards. Are
Yeah.
they made by the same artist?
No. They are not, but
Okay,
they are both excellent, and they're both well-known artists. The
yeah,
artist that did the um, Kingdra was Okagi, who
okay,
did the Greninja from Twilight.
okay.
So I don't remember who did the Greninja from that box, but I still really like the art. It almost feels, both of them almost feel like a Japanese tapestry style, which definitely does fit into the theme of those two cards. I think it worked really well, especially with their art style that they used.
Yeah, I'm excited to see because like with Ascended Heroes, we've seen what's coming in the set, but that's the what we're getting, like with the poster collection and the starters collection, their boxes.
Hmm.
Uh, I haven't seen those EXs in Mega Dream opening it up through Japanese, unless
Well,
I've missed them.
we do get some extras, and that's because Japanese does have some extra products, such as battle decks and things like that. I know, for
Okay,
example, in Prismatic Evolution, we had like a Snorlax EX. We had, I think there was a different Pikachu EX. There was a couple other weird things that were in there that were not part of the Terrestrial Festival set. So you
okay,
do get a couple extra products, and we're probably going to get even more in this Ascended Heroes.
yeah, we're getting a mega. I don't know how to say her name. We're getting a Mega Embor, a Mega Feraligatr, and then
Meganium.
there we go.
Yeah,
We're getting
Meganium.
another one of her. And so we're getting those with Ascended Heroes, and those are all coming out April 24th though.
Right. And
But
that's what
that makes sense because it's with ZA. So Ascended Heroes is kind of like the set that's supposed to be for the ZA people.
it is. And all these sets are. Um because we're no longer in the Scarlet and Violet era, we're in the Mega era, and these are all based on the legends. And that's one of the things I talked about with Kaylin last week was the we are now seeing this Scarlet and Violet era is over, and we're
Yeah.
in the Mega Evolution era. So these eras are getting smaller because of the Legends games, breaking up that 4 year difference into now two, which feels
Yeah.
a lot shorter of uh, blocks, but it does help to feel a little fresher, especially if they're going to change some style. Because, and I talked about this before, when we have a new block change, where it is a true, like before it was Sword and Shield, and then we had Scarlet and Violet. The change between Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet changed a lot. We changed how many reverse hollows we get in a pack. We
Yeah.
changed that we did now get a full hollow in every pack. Instead of it being uh, trainer gallery cards, we have illustration rares. Instead of it being alt arts, now it's SIRs. So, and along with that goes the change in the type of hollow, the design of the card, and it also has a bit of a hit rate change. We did not see that difference between Scarlet and Violet and Mega Evolution because it's still kind of that same block of 4 years.
Yeah.
Now, we might see one when this Gen 10 comes out. And that Gen 10 is going to come out in the fall of this year. So we might see a change where SIRs and IRs are no longer the art style that we see. We might have something completely new. We might have the pack change. But all this happens after 30th anniversary.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I wouldn't mind going back to trainer galleries. I really like after, seeing a few trainer galleries that we pulled or we got from trading. I like the trainer galleries. I think they look very, very nice.
yeah, they're great cards. There's a lot of really good ones. Ones that come to mind for sure for me are the Milotic from Silver Tempest,
Yeah.
and the Superior V, also from Silver Tempest. That was more of an alt art style uh, trainer gallery, but yeah, they're underrated cards that were a nice twist. And I don't want us to go back. I don't want us to do something that we've already done. What I want to
Yeah.
see is another thing like that that's different. I would be okay if we go back to not having a holo in every pack, to going back to having not as many illustration
Yeah.
rares, but have like two different things where it's alt arts and illustration rares, and they're not necessarily something that's indicative of each other, where you can say, okay, well, these are like right now we have the illustration rare and the SIR. Trying to explain that to people is very difficult on what
Yeah.
those are. When we had the alt arts and the trainer galleries, it was completely different, where those two cards looked vastly different. It was like,
Vastly
okay,
different.
this is
Yeah.
this and this is that. So I definitely like to see us go back to a varied product rather than
Yeah.
just
And I
kind
mean,
of rinse
seeing
and
us
repeat.
going back to the Mega Evolution
Hmm.
Pokemon, I would like to see tag team come back. I really do enjoy those tag team cards, especially my boy Blastoise and Piplup. That's probably one of my favorite cards that I've seen. I wish I could pull it, but I'm never going to. Uh but I would like to see tag team. I would like to see the dual typing. I think that was like back in
Yeah,
I
those were
can't remember when
Delta
that was.
species.
Yeah. The dual typings, we haven't had fairy in so long. Uh and just seeing I would just like to see more like ice fairy, the stuff that we get in the video game itself. I
Mhm.
would like to see them incorporated into the TCG as well.
Yeah, a lot of the things with that is just balancing on the play because of the
Yeah.
competitive aspect. But yeah, some kind of I know what you mean. I absolutely know what you mean.
And then like, with April coming around, we don't know what's coming in perfect order at this point, like like playable wise, we don't know. We have an idea from Ascended Heroes what's going to be playable and what's not going to be playable.
Hmm.
So I know my daughter, she's trying to figure out what deck she wants to play now because she runs a Guardy deck, and that deck is getting absolutely obliterated come April.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why the rotation is in, and learning to work with it is so important. But yeah, that's always the tough part of it. So we don't know what's coming, but I'm really hoping that this is another really great new playable set that gets some really cool new decks out there. Because no offense to your daughter by any means, but I'm sick of seeing Guardy. It's getting old.
She loves it. I've been running Till Mask Mega Venusaur on TCG Live. Love
I
it.
love that deck.
Uh I love my Empoleon deck. He's a tanky boy. It takes you at least 3 turns to kill him, so I'll take it. My son loves his Mega Gengar deck and his Shureledge deck.
Hmm.
I've got the Abomasnow deck, which is just funny to play.
Hmm.
And then I have my Mega Lucario deck.
That's awesome. I love that you have a deck that's more of like a funny, like, I don't want to call it a joke deck, but one that's not like meta by any means.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
so stupid to play.
but it's fun. That's the beauty of this game, is that you can take down a good deck with a deck that's weird,
Yeah,
and
that
that's what
has
keeps it
30
fun.
water energies in it.
You have 30 water energies. Why?
Because of Abomasnow's ability.
Oh my goodness.
I just need 2 water energies to do hammer, and I discard the top 6 cards of my deck. And for every water energy I discard, it does 100 damage to your Pokemon.
That's ridiculous.
And then I switch him out with Kyogre, which Kyogre's first attack is 1 water, and for every water energy in my discard pile, it does 20 damage to your Pokemon. So, and those get recycled into my deck.
Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. It's pretty
Evil.
fun to play. And Empoleon, I think because my thinking is because Guardy's going away, I've seen a lot of people have been playing the Alakazam deck.
Mm-hmm.
And Empoleon is a great counter to Alakazam because Empoleon's ability is that you can't put damage counters on him.
Okay, yeah.
So
nice.
now you can move damage counters. So like Monkey Door's ability works fine on Empoleon.
Right, but you can't place them on him.
Right. So for Alakazam, it does nothing.
Yeah.
And then I've got a Hero's Cape that brings him up to 420 HP. I've got a Metal Lab that does 30 less damage. His feathers, his attack makes you do 60 less damage. And then if I have a Sacred Charm on him, besides the Hero's Cape, I take 110 less damage if I have all three of those cards out. So he just stands there and he's like,
he's just taking it.
My daughter hates it. She's like, you have everything out. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I can't take it out. I'm like, yeah, I know.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that excellent that you've been able to do that and being able to enjoy a deck that's not as out there. And that's
yeah. Empoleon, he is my favorite. Piplup is my forever favorite Pokemon because I love penguins, so they're my favorite animal. So as soon as I knew Piplup was coming out during what was it? It wasn't X and Y. When did Piplup come out? 4th gen, ain't he?
Yeah, so that would be Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, Diamond and Pearl. So as soon as he came out, I already knew who my starter was going to be. And I was set. I was ready. And then I was really hoping, like, there was a rumor in ZA that he was going to come back as a starter. And I'm like, yes, I want to get a Mega Empoleon. And then they were like, you get Totodile. And I'm like, all right, I'll still take Totodile. Totodile's cool. And then they gave us Totodile, or, his Mega. And I was like, that's depressing.
Yeah, and I said it on the last episode, and we're all going to get flack for this, but I do not like the Mega for Alligator.
I mean, he's not bad. I think if they would have done it in a different way, I think it would have been cool. But the thing that the flat, that's what kills me. Head? Yeah. Like if it would just stay closed, I think that would be cool. But I think Embor got the best out of the new Megas.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Halucha's Mega.
Halucha's is perfect.
Oh, and the way they announced it was peak.
Yes. That was
I loved it.
Announcement. Just being in the ring and having him fly down. Yes. Oh, that was
I think Star Me or Star Use, I think that Mega is just funny. I don't hate it. It's
I
funny.
do.
I don't.
All the listeners know that I hate that thing. That thing is terrible. That is the worst Mega ever created. It doesn't belong on this earth, and somebody needs to do something about it. And all I hear is now that this perfect order, we might get an SIR version of it. So now I got to deal with that for another couple months. Oh my goodness!
Victory Bells is funny. I just think it's funny. I don't even
mind Victory Bells. It's so bad that it's funny. All right, everyone, that's our time for today. Hopefully you guys can feel a little bit more confident going into what we have coming up here. And I'm really hoping that some of you, if not all of you, don't look at Perfect Order as a dead set just because the Pokemon featured in it aren't necessarily the biggest. But keep in mind that it may be a little bit forgotten because of the release schedule of this Ascended Heroes. But don't give up on a set that might not have everything you want, because there might be one thing in there, maybe a couple that you overlooked.
And remember, just because you may think it's a dead set, we're still getting Pokemon 30 years later.
Absolutely. Well, have a good night, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and always remember, keep chasing.